So they say just talking to the camera when you've got something that you want to say. I guess that's how you do the social media type of thing, which I'm learning how to do. I'm not very good at it, obviously, but I'm working towards it. I've got about 2 hours to go before my eating window opens up at noon on my fast, when I can have my first meal. So I thought I'd come out and start weeding some of the garden and just kind of talk about the fact that this is what I thought my life was going to be like in the future when I retired. You're just puttering around the garden and pulling weeds and watering. And, I was satisfied with that to a specific degree, because I had worked to a point where I was way out of shape. I didn't really anticipate that I was going to be able to do anything financially wise with regards to retirement. I kind of thought I'd be working all my life, honestly. Social Security, maybe a couple small things, I don't know. But my career path changed. I got out of the restaurant business and got into something more professional with really good benefits and a good pension that I'm really loading a lot of stuff into. And I've got some real estate that I plan on selling off, but regardless, I had settled in and decided just to be comfortable telling myself that sitting around looking forward to spring or summer where I could sit out by the fire pit, have a few drinks to drink and enjoy myself. And that was going to be my lot in life. But the other day I got planting out here, and I planted, jeepers, I want to say 13, maybe 20,000 seeds. And I'm anticipating that they're growing. So I'm out here weeding to kind of help them grow along by, keeping the stuff that's going to strangle them. And, it looks dry now, but I'll be watering them later on. You have to tend to the seeds that you plant in the soil if you want them to grow into beautiful flowers. And I thought that was a pretty interesting metaphor for me in my life. At first I was just satisfied with just being seeds thrown into the dirt and just to kind of let lie around and do what they were going to do, when they were going to do, and how they were going to do, without really making any effort to keep the weeds out of my surroundings and keep myself watered and give myself in good conditions so that I could grow. So I took hold of that and started to invest heavily into pensions and investments. I've got a really nice setup where it's a set and forget type of thing with Fidelity. There's 4 or 5 different positions that I hold, and automatically a specific amount is taken out of my checking account, and it goes right there and it distributes it without me having to touch it. Any profit, it reinvests it, and I just let it go. And if I have a few $100 here kicking around and whatnot, I might play with that and put it into something a little bit more volatile, which strangely enough seems to be working out the best right now, which is really odd. But the losing the weight, the exercising, the going for walks every day, the planning for my future, the talking over the destinations that my wife and I want to go to when we retire, thinking smartly about selling the houses that I've got. See, I've got one house that was the house that I grew up in and that I was fortunate enough to purchase from my parents long before my father died. They lived there obviously for years, which was great, but it helped them obviously, because when I purchased it from them it paid off a lot of their debt. So anyways, it was a good scenario. And then I bought the house here that we put a lot of work into, even though I probably shouldn't, but it's going to pay off. You know, those were struggles at first that in the end are going to pay off. That's the weeding, that's the tending, that's the watering, that's the providing the best conditions for a seed like me to grow into, for want of better terms, a beautiful flower, which is what I hope to be when my wife and I retire. So I guess the primary thing that I want to really mention today is I'm down here weeding the grass and the crabgrass and the creeping Charlies out of the way, and I'm looking and I'm already seeing the sprouts start to grow for the thousands and thousands and thousands of seeds that I scattered along the ground and have been tending to periodically here and there, and I'm seeing the benefits. So I think it worked out really well, as opposed to just being satisfied with sitting around and puttering, to look at myself in the terms of, I have to nurture. And I have to continually nurture so that I don't die, which is me staying consistent with the goals that I'm trying to achieve. I had a friend this morning, hey, shout out there, who went for a walk this morning because he saw me post a video about my 12-mile walk yesterday, which it was a complete accident to go 12 miles, honestly. I didn't really anticipate I was going to do that, but I did it anyways because I just kind of kept on going, and felt good and didn't feel like stopping. But anyways, he said that he was sitting around the couch. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but sitting around the couch, and he's like, God, here's McCarthy out there on that 6-mile walk, and I'm sitting around on my couch. So he said it was kind of an inspiration to get out and get going. So that's important, because that's also a weeding type of thing, to get those statements and use them for sun, for water, to kind of keep going when you don't want to go, and continue to nurture yourself in the future. And neighbors across the street talking, and dogs in the background talking outside. This is probably getting annoying. But anyways, I just want to wrap up, and this is a little bit longer than what I was anticipating. But think of yourself as seeds and nurture yourself so that you grow into a flower, and just don't let yourself die in a flower bed like I was going to do.